So this will be a continuation of my series Cross-Branding Conundrums, and this will be volume 3 starring DeMar DeRozan and Mr. Six God himself, Drizzy Drake. And we'll break this down layer by layer, and the only interest here is the storyline. It's not about being part of Team Drake or Team Kendrick or Team DeRozan or whoever. The storyline is the only interest here. And in this segment, we'll see a night that should have been about Vince Carter and his legacy. A man who sacrificed his starting role in the All-Star game in order to give the fans what they wanted to see, which is Michael Jordan's last appearance. Vince Carter has always been a solid guy. That's why I said this situation right here is multi-layered, and at the same time, Drake and DeMar DeRozan came up at the same time. Their rise happened from 2009 all the way to 2018. That was their prime years in both the hip-hop world. Drake ingratiating himself as a Toronto Raptor, other than being the top rapper. And that's very important here because he has ingratiated himself with the city the same way DeMar DeRozan did on his rise. He spent most of his prime years in Toronto, and very similar to Vince Carter, people mainly remember him for being a Toronto Raptor. So the relationship between Drake and DeRozan on their rise from 2009 to 2018 was symbiotic, as both their brands benefited, and from the outside looking in, it looks like they were really good friends. But what happens when the brand equity being associated with each other runs out after DeMar DeRozan gets traded? That's when we'll see the real friendship. But first, let's get reminded of how deep their relationship was in Toronto and the letter that Drake had posted on his Instagram soon as DeMar DeRozan was traded.
I am grateful to have witnessed your combination of skill, persistence, and loyalty from the same seats every night. Thank you for being an incredible captain and an even better friend.
So again, that was in 2018 when DeMar DeRozan officially was traded from the Toronto Raptors to the San Antonio Spurs. And fast forwarding to 2021, check out how DeMar DeRozan spoke on his friendship with Drake.
You went to Drake after you were traded. What did you guys talk about?
Man, we just really sat there, and but besides basketball, everything, just the reassurance of, like, that was my partner. That was a friend. That was a friend of mine that was like, man, get away from everything. I know it's crazy. I couldn't even turn on TV that day. Phone was going crazy. I just went over there and we sat and talked for hours. Ate, sat and talked, and I think more than anything, just him being there for me as a friend, first and foremost, and no matter what, when it come to him, he'll forever have a friend in me and loyalty out of me because, he cared.
Yeah, he was there for you.
He was there for me when everything was just going crazy, and kind of just got me settled in the sense of, like, we're gonna get past it, don't even worry about it.
Man, getting traded for an NBA player is pretty dramatic. It's just gut-wrenching that the franchise that drafted you and believed in you now all of a sudden has traded you, especially DeRozan being in the top of the Eastern Conference year after year. Him and Kyle Lowry getting a little close to the NBA Finals, just can't get over the LeBron James hurdle. And it's heartbreaking to a player that repped that franchise so hard just to see them trade him away for another star that can get them over the hump. That's what DeRozan kind of meant when he was like everything was crazy. It's just him processing that the franchise basically got rid of him. So it looks like him and Drake had a heart-to-heart. There was an understanding that there was not only a friendship, but there was also a symbiotic relationship with their branding. And even though that monetarily is probably not going to happen going forward, that Drake would still be his mans. The entertainment world is shaky. There's a lot of friends just for the cameras. And we see it play out a lot during some of these NBA games where you see the celebrities shaking hands with players after the game. But a lot of those handshakes and gestures are a bit phony. Their PR department paid a lot of money for them to sit courtside and also get that camera op at the end of the games, the fake hugs, the fake, oh, ha, 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 laughs and whatever. And that's all to appeal to certain demographics that they want to market their products to, whether it be a movie release or a brand new pair of shoes, merchandising, a future tour, etc. That's when we see these celebrities tend to pop out and act like they're NBA fans. And DeRozan knows this. When he's on the road playing against the Knicks, or when he's on the road playing against the Lakers, he experienced a lot of these fake relationships and fake moments that have to get caught on camera, and as soon as that thing turns away, it's a different story and the acting job is over. So now finally, fast forward to today, the beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake is multi-layered. And for DeMar DeRozan, a California Compton native, the city of Los Angeles is very territorial based on neighborhoods, and there's a certain culture, especially the LA culture, to the natives in that city does not get put in the back burner. It hurts your brand. DeRozan understands this. And here's where the conundrums pile up. Even though him and Drake were probably cordial and decent friends, things kind of got put in a gray area for DeMar DeRozan when Drake not only used AI of Tupac's voice, which was viewed as disrespectful to the cultural natives of LA, but also what never seems to get brought up is how Drake loves to wear other rappers' chains. The way he wears it is very similar to a hunter who in his house, he may have a dead moose, the head of a dead bear, stuffed in his living room. Drake wears other rappers' chains the same way. He does that for some of Pharrell's chains, and he also has Tupac's ring, and he wears it in the same manner as the hunter who has the stuffed animals in the house. And that right there gets perceived very different from other cultures. Drake himself might be a fan of those people, but there's been tracks over the years where he kind of brags and boasts as if those items are almost the stuffed animals, and he's conquered them almost like Thanos with all the rings, and he's wearing it and he's the top dog. He's kind of flexed a little bit like that. So DeRozan is kind of put in a gray area. Is he going to put his city and his brand above Drake, or is he going to side with his city? These are gray areas, because the relationship between him and Drake is no longer symbiotic as far as their brands. There's no monetary benefit anymore. So this is where we see how deep are these quote unquote celebrity friendships. So just in the very few weeks after the songs dropped from Drake and Kendrick, and they're going back and forth and everyone's reacting, things are going viral, he sat down with funny ass Jeff Teague and he spoke on this situation. He tried to play neutral.
To do that, bro. Ain't too many light-skinned niggas that can go crazy in the city like that in Toronto, bro. But that ain't nothing for DeMar to speak on.
even that, like, just how great in the, like, I know it's so easy where people get caught up in the size and all that, but it's like,
Drake.
I don't think
Drake still
the amazing shit that Drake done did over what the last 15 years.
Like, can't be erased.
Nah, bro.
Like,
He's
come
undeniable.
on, nothing could ever take that away. You see what I'm
Ever.
saying? Like, I know, like I said, it's always easy when I look at it from, be honest with you, I look at all this shit like I really come from like the hood. I come from like niggas losing their life over some dumb shit, over dice games. Like,
Yeah.
like I done had an uncle get killed by, that was a blood that got killed by a Crip. Another uncle that was a Crip that got killed by a blood, and it fucked up my whole like childhood upbringing to where it's like y'all letting songs divide and create and make people so sensitive to where it's like, to me it's like, come on, man, like we it's like watching a fucking action-packed movie. Nobody really dying. You know what I mean?
It's true. To me, I hated how it started because they just two totally different artists to me. I get Drake can really rap. It's just Kendrick, like you said, really come from kind of more respected.
Yeah, but it's like I think you can't just never discredit like Drake. Drake is like,
That's him right there playing neutral. Notice that his homie tried to downplay Drake. Kendrick come from a more respected background, and this is DeRozan right here trying to backpedal like, whoa, let's not disregard Drake right now. This is DeRozan trying to play the middleman. He's holding his homie down.
Like Drake is like he fucking Drake.
I'm a Drake fan. 100%.
And what's
I'm just
crazy is
saying.
you was in the city when Drake really became a star.
I seen the from the beginning to where is it
Make
at
a
now,
star.
you know?
And it's the same timeline for DeRozan. It was the beginning of his career all the way to where it is now, even with him being traded. Drake is part of that come up. The same way everyone remembers Vince Carter with the Raptors, even though he did spend most of his career outside of Toronto, but people remember him initially with the Raptors. That's the thing about branding in the NBA. It's how you first appear. It's how people really perceive you. A number one overall pick like Zion, who's not really producing like a number one overall pick, but people still perceive him that way, as that type of top tier talent. How you come in the NBA is extremely important.
Like, I don't think it will ever be another Drake. That's just what it is. You know?
And ain't nobody ever fought against that many people, bro.
Drake, bro. Drake him. Kendrick him too.
At the end of the day, it just comes down to it being that. Like, both of them, the big dogs at what they do. Like, why can't that be respected?
Everybody got spar one day. It ain't. But
listen. Hey, in my neighborhood, the two toughest niggas had to get down.
Yeah.
One got to lose. That don't make them less than the other one.
Yeah.
100%.
You know what I mean? It's just be more respected, because ain't nobody else gonna get down with one of them niggas.
Yeah.
Not at all.
That's true.
That's my view. Everybody who don't come from the streets or understand the street part of it may not look at it like that and may get in their feelings or be sensitive about certain shit. For me, I look at all this shit like, bro, ain't nobody hurt. This shit is this is
It was good.
we watching fucking The Matrix.
So again, really early on after the songs dropped, DeMar DeRozan playing the middleman, trying to play neutral. But at the same time, he lets you know he's really LA. He's really part of that culture. So fast forward, when Kendrick Lamar had the pop out, DeMar DeRozan not only made an appearance, he ended up being in the music video. Because again, he comes from that LA culture. He cannot deny his culture over his brand. It's just not in his spirit. It doesn't even make any sense. He's LA homegrown through and through. And Kendrick Lamar's victory over Drake was not only a Kendrick thing, but it was a LA thing. Once again, Kendrick's victory over Drake just wasn't about Kendrick. It was a LA victory. The city had a moment where everyone can come together and make peace and break bread and celebrate the cultural history of Los Angeles. So DeRozan had to make an appearance at the pop out. This is where he's from. This is his culture. This is what he knows. And he also made an appearance on Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us video. But it's really where he appeared in the music video. The scene where he was at, it was in this lot where it looked like a bunch of crates that came off a ship were just docked. And normally crates like that sometimes appear in docks with women inside of them being trafficked. And Kendrick Lamar made numerous references to Drake being a sex trafficker in the song. So this is where the gray area comes from with the friendships. Why would DeRozan make an appearance on that very scene? And probably to Drake in that music video. And this could also be perceived on Drake's side as DeMar DeRozan stepping on the city of Toronto. It's a real tough call to make, because I don't know who would ever put their city on the back burner to rep a city that they're not even from. But at the same time, that's how they were able to create and monetize the prime years of their career. DeRozan is in a tough spot. So fast forward, when Vince Carter's gonna have his jersey hung up by the Raptors, Drake got on the live broadcast and he showed his ass out. He chose one hell of a moment to make things known of where he stands.
It's absolutely spectacular, right?
Yeah, unfortunately we're playing this goof tonight, but it is what it is, you know what I mean?
Hey, look, we're going to take the break. You're going to stay with us.
I bet you are, huh?
Yeah.
I've had enough vodka soda grapefruits. It's time to take a break, huh? By the way, put the camera on Jessie Reyes. She looks 20 million out of 10 tonight. Let's get a camera shot of her. Forget these clowns.
Jesse, we have a...
Oh, yeah. Let's get a shot of her. Look at that. Wowzers. Wowzers. An absolute national treasure right there.
101.92. Jack and I.
Holy smokes.
Speaking of national treasure.
Yes, if you ever put a DeRozan banner up, I'll go up there and pull it down myself. That's the answer to your question. Is that what you're going to ask?
No. I didn't mention
well, you know
DeRozan and Kyle.
Yeah, well,
and
shout out to Kyle.
The statues are next. Well.
Yeah.
They are. Drake. Thank you for joining us in the fourth quarter.
I'm getting cut.
You're not.
Let's cut back to Jesse one more time before I get out.
Drake once again choosing one hell of a moment, and he definitely went in. But DeRozan was told by a reporter what Drake has said during his post-game presser. You guys check it out.
Tonight's broadcast, Drake said, if you ever put up the DeRozan banner up, I'll go up there and pull it down myself. What's your reaction to that?
Well, he gonna have a long way to climb to take it down. So tell him good luck.
Thanks, everyone.
Man, DeRozan witty as fuck. That was a great response. And he was out of there. He was out of there. Shout out to DeRozan. But man, these are tough cross-branding conundrums. You built your whole prime years in Toronto and also being part of that Drake train on his come up from 2009 all the way to 2018. So both of those guys seen their best years together on the come up, and their brands kind of came together like a perfect cross-marketing fusion, having the same demographics consume both hip hop and the NBA. And make no mistake about it, DeRozan, just like Vince Carter, he's one of them legends for the Raptors. Even though he didn't get his championship, he actually brought them as much playoff success as VC. And to a degree, you can make an argument that he actually got a little further because his success, just making multiple playoff runs, was way more consistent than Vince Carter's. But yeah, these fake on-camera relationships, this is like the year to expose all these things. The way it's playing out nowadays. Cross-branding conundrums. But that's all we'll get into for today. And you guys definitely hit up the mailbag with any questions you have. And until next time, you fellas stay safe. Peace.